Welcome back, guys, to another exclusive interview here on the O'Shea Vlogcast channel. I am definitely your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Today is no stranger to any of my channels. She's been on both of them. And we are always glad to have her back when we can get a hold of her. Certainly, she's been very busy, and we'll get into that. But this is the one and only, the lovely Rashida Strober, and we're glad to have her back. How you doing, Rashida?
I'm doing great. What's up, y'all?
All right. Well, we're so glad to have you. We've done multiple interviews over this past year,
Yes.
and we always talk about the controversial subject about dark skin activism for Black women. So for those of people who do not know you, if you'd be so kind to kind of let everybody know who you are and what is it that you do.
Absolutely. My name is Rashida Strober, the world's first, I love saying that, the world's first dark skin activist. Yes, the creator of dark skin activism, which is a new paradigm that no one's ever created a movement around only dark skin in terms of looking at it from all different aspects. So what I've done back in 1998, I created a movement called dark skin activism to deal with dark skin discrimination. Now, I did start out speaking from a female perspective because at the root of it, I always wanted to get the approval of the Black man. And so a lot of my issues between me and Black men were this dark skin. So I was trying to figure out a way to deal with that. And so dark skin activism came out of that. So what I do as the world's first dark skin activist, I've been doing this since 1998. I gave my first lecture regarding dark skin at St. Petersburg College about Alec Weck in 1998. And then from there, I've gone on to write books, plays. I do touring. Right now, I'm currently on tour. I've written more books than anyone in the world specifically on dark skin. I saw that no one aside from, yes, Cola Booth, I have to say her name because, you know, she's the person that was back in the 90s that really started to focus on dark skin. But other than that, no one was talking about dark skin. So I said, you know what, I was going to stop being afraid of what people would say about me if I spoke about dark skin. And I said, I just need to just deal with this head on from all aspects. The beauty aspect, it goes into discrimination in school, on the jobs, and every different aspect, even on a global level. Of course, I wanted to deal with this issue of why is it that dark-skinned people get treated differently and thereby impacting their life chances simply because of something they can't control, which is dark skin. So once again, I decided to deal with that through my commentary, through my books, through my plays, and it's all culminated into right now the Dark Skin Activist Tour. So, you know, dark skin activism is about equality. It's about pushing the envelope in regards to how dark-skinned people are treated in every aspect of human existence to make sure that the life chances of dark-skinned people are equal to that of non-dark-skinned people. I know that was a long-winded answer, but that's my answer.
Okay, and shout out to Man of Tomorrow for the $10 super chat. We'll be on with him on Friday for Black Friday specific show. So shout out to him. Let me ask you this. We've talked about this before, but just a kind of before we get into what you've been doing as of late. You say that you want to make sure that dark-skinned people have the same equal chance as those people who are non-dark. But in particular, you've also talked about there's a different treatment between how dark-skinned men are perceived versus how dark-skinned Black women are perceived. So can you kind of break that down? Because I believe that you noted that dark-skinned Black men are more accepted or more appreciated than dark-skinned Black women. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, for dark-skinned women, it's a difference in terms of darkism for dark skin. And by the way, darkism is a term I coined that denotes the discrimination of dark-skinned people. But if you compare the treatment of dark-skinned women versus the treatment of dark-skinned men, it's about power. And power leads to life chances. So the more power you have, the better your life chances. And when I say life chances, I'm talking about a person becoming what it is that they want to become and living out their life dreams and their life goals with the lesser amount of roadblocks as possible. Whether that be through, like I said, education, through employment, economics overall, moving up socially in society, marriage, dating, all of these things. So going back to the concept of power, the dark-skinned Black woman, for women, this is what we must understand. I really, really want people to understand that beauty is power for women. And so if the dark-skinned Black woman is seen as, there's been studies out there that have stated that dark-skinned women are the most unattractive. You know, there's also have been studies to show that dark-skinned Black women are the least to get married or the last to get married in comparison to non-dark-skinned. The studies are there. I like to quote Dr. Margaret Hunter because she talks about this idea of social capital, that skin tone is used for women as social capital, because women understand that beauty is power. Beauty is economic power. Beauty is social power. So all of these things are intertwined. But for a man, it's not about them being beautiful or good looking. That's not it. For a dark-skinned man, the power is tied up in economics. How much money you got? I mean, in layman's terms. I mean, because if you are a dark-skinned man and you got some money, you're a wealthy dark-skinned man, let's face it, you're not going to have a whole lot of problems, too many problems. I mean, just ask Michael Jordan, prime example. He's just one example of, you know, other dark-skinned men that I could name that are wealthy. They're not going to have a lot of issues if you have money. Mm-hmm. But a dark-skinned woman, let's just put it like this: she better have some money. She better, if she's not so hot looking, you know, she might have to have some money to go along with that. In addition, you understand what I'm saying? So it's beauty. For a man, it's not about how handsome the man is, you know, but for a woman, it's all tied up into beauty. And I do not want to, by any means, diminish the importance of a woman's education, because I myself have an education. I have a master's in political science, and I'm not saying that to impress people. I never say that to impress people, because that's not really what impresses me. It's the person's heart is what impresses me, who you are as an individual. But when I've said this before, when I walk around on the street, men are not looking at me going, "Oh my God, she has a master's degree." They're not going to know that unless I tell them. Men are looking at my phenotype. They're looking at how y'all are visual. You understand? Women, we're not visual. Women we're emotional creatures. So it's a different ballgame. So when a man is walking around looking at me as a dark-skinned Black woman in a world that devalues dark-skinned Black women, and we're at the bottom of this beauty hierarchy, it's a different ball game. I got to make sure as a dark-skinned Black woman that I physically look the best that I can. These are the things that I think about. You know, go ahead.
Shout out to Brian Jenkins for the super chat, $10. But let me ask you this.
Sure.
You are on the road, and you know me, I have to ask some tough questions.
Go ahead.
You are touring on the behalf of your fellow dark-skinned Black women as you were traveling, and you're doing a great play. And you have just admitted that people are not looking at your money or education as a woman, they're looking at your phenotype. And I mean, we're looking at you right now. It's obvious that you are concerned with your phenotype because you're a very attractive woman. But I think that the group of women that you're representing may not be as concerned about their own phenotype or beauty than you are. And I think this may be the problem that a lot of Black men may see in results of Black women as a whole, but dark-skinned Black women. If you know, as a group of women, that you feel we are on the bottom of the barrel, and even in particular the Black men, a lot of dark-skinned Black women are not trying to improve themselves or their beauty. So when you have somebody like yourself who is so avid to change the minds of other Black men, people, to advocate for Black women, dark-skinned beauty, you have a lot of dark-skinned Black women who don't care. And I think, do you feel that there's a problem with this? Because the work that you are putting in is, I commend you for it. But what about the Black women out there who just want somebody like yourself to go out and do all the work and find, hey, find us beautiful, but they're not in the gym. They're not made up like Rashida Strober. They're not working on their beauty or their phenotype. Then how does that make you look?
Right, I understand. Let me just preface that with saying this first. You're right. See, the thing is, a lot of us don't want to be honest and deal with the raw truth of it. So let me give you a raw, honest, truthful answer. I ain't gonna use nobody else. I'm gonna talk about Rashida. Mm-hmm. All right. So for example, I am dark skinned. Everybody knows, most people know that I told my story about my dark skin mental abuse growing up and people talking about me saying us. So as I grew older, I began to understand and just accept the truth. Now I'm 5'10", all right? I'm pretty tall. So one of the things that I came to terms, I said, okay, I gotta make sure that I do what is ever within my power to make sure I look as physically appealing as I can. Not necessarily, it's not really about pleasing other people. It's really about pleasing myself at the end of the day, but I'm not stupid. I know I got to walk around and deal with the world. For example, I just went to New York, interacting in front of an audience. I'm tall. For me, this is just me. Y'all don't take no offense to this. I don't want to be overweight at all because I'm tall. And if I'm over a certain weight, I'm going to look horrific. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I mean, it's one thing to be when you're a tall woman, and you're a tall, dark-skinned woman, you don't want to be too big, too overweight. I'm giving y'all the real Rashida. So in my head, I have to make sure that I keep myself at a certain weight, being that I'm 5'10". I gotta look a certain way. This is always in my head. Now, some people have called me vain. They say, well, I don't care about any of that. I know the reality of it. If I'm a tall, as some people might say, if I was at a certain way, a big Black woman, look at this. I've heard people say things like that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's all a part of my psyche. You understand what I'm saying? As a dark-skinned Black woman, it's something that's very important to me to keep myself at a certain weight. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I'm 5'10". I just told y'all my highest weight, I believe I was somewhere around 185 pounds, and it was horrendous. I went from being about 150, 145, 150. I'm 150 right now, 5'10", to almost 200 pounds. Horrendous, completely horrendous. I don't need nobody to tell me that I looked horrendous. Obviously, I was pregnant at the time, so I sort of kind of had an excuse. But once I had Lauren, I had to get that weight up off me, plain and simple. Because I am a dark-skinned Black woman, and everybody has a different body type. For me, I understand where I carry my weight at, and it ain't all in my ASS. It ain't there, so I have to be at a certain weight to look good, to look decent, to look how I want to look, how I know I'm supposed to look. So I work at that. So one of the things that I've done, and that's not the only reason I do these things that I'm going to mention, but one of the reasons I'm a vegan. Okay. I don't eat meat. Processed foods is something that's very limited with me, like super limited. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I run all the time. I did 6 miles today. I do this constantly. Green tea, green juices. That's what I do because that is what keeps my weight down because I'm not in denial. I know what I need to do. So with all that being said, and I use myself as the guinea pig because I don't want people to feel like, okay, I'm using myself as the guinea pig. I feel great about myself because when I look in the mirror, I mean, I look great. So I just do. To me, I do. I'm very satisfied. So one of the things that now I'm going to get off into my dark skin sisters. One of the things that I have encouraged the sisters to do for health reasons as well, to be healthy, is to take care of yourself, your phenotype, take care of your body. Get off the processed food and the junk food. Get up and exercise. Drink water. Get off the sodas. You know, don't be in denial. That's number one. Do not be in denial. Make no mistake about it. It's not fair. I admit it. But you're going to be judged based off of how you look. And the byproduct of caring about that is you're going to be in good health. If you take care of yourself. In my book, How to Be the Hottest Dark Skinned Chick on the Planet, I actually speak about the importance of raw foods and fruits and vegetables, and also drinking water and green tea and fasting and all of these things that I do because I understand that it's not fair, but this is what I have to do. And because this is what I have to do, it's going to make me better as an individual. I'm going to feel better about myself and I'm going to become more powerful. I truly believe, people think I'm crazy when I say this, but I believe that being a vegan, a high raw vegan, is one of the main reasons why I'm able to do all the work that I do, the touring, because people have told me this was crazy, you know, but the foods that I eat, the fasting that I do, it builds your mind up. I eat blueberries all the time. Blueberries is for your brain health. This stuff will help you.
Okay.
So
let me ask you this real quick.
Go ahead.
And, let me do this real quick. Billy Jackson, shout out to you. I believe I'm echoing. I'll just see if I can mute something here. Okay. And we have a person that is Mr. Old School Writer. But let me just say this real quick. I understand from your perspective, because what it seems like to me is, I will agree with you, dark-skinned women, dark-skinned people in general, have always been second-class citizens in the Black community. We always know, like, even in Liberia, light-skinned mulattoes ran the country. Same thing in earlier forms of Haiti before Papa Doc was there. Even in the United States, our first Black leaders, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, people like Langston Hughes, our most famous. All you were light-skinned, Black colleges, stuff like this. Now, there's more of an even playing field. So here's what I want to know. If back in the day, where Black people really didn't have a choice to change their own situation about how they were perceived, and with Black women with all of the luxurious items that they have now, the internet, access to great gems that are at least at a less price. You have so many women out there who have, who feel like all I gotta do is put on a weave and I can say somebody's discriminating against me. Now, to me, it looks like with the obesity rates that we have with Black women, a lot of Black women who do not take care of themselves, it seems like, at least to me, that for the Black women who keep themselves up like yourself, you're going to be able to make a strong point. Like, yeah, hey, dark-skinned women are attractive. I just, came back from Uganda in June, and that's what you see over there all the time. But you're not going to still make the case, though. I don't know if you understand this. But for those Black women who are, obese, already ugly, because, not everybody's cute, you know what I mean? What about those women, though? Are they going to be left out of the equation? When you go out and you advocate for dark-skin activism, what about the fat, lazy ones, or the ones with 32 kids by 42 people? I mean, what about those women? Are they going to be left out?
No, they're not going to be left out because those are my sisters and I love them. And I want them to be, they're beautiful to me. I mean, I really mean that. I think they're beautiful. It's everybody has to just be encouraged, I think, to deal with the reality. Like what you're saying right now, that's the reality of how you see things. People cannot be afraid to deal with the reality of people's perceptions. And if it's true, look at it. Don't be offended. I think one of the things we got to stop doing, as some of us as Black women, is stop being offended. Take a look at it and critically think about it and say, okay, does this apply? And if it applies, if you know that you need to lose some weight, there is no need to be offended. I use this example in my book. I never forget a light-skinned relative of mine who I lived with. This is no shade. I'm just telling y'all, we talk about color. So, hey, she was light-skinned. I'll never forget, she told me, I think I was around about maybe 14 or 15. She told me that my underarms stinked. And to this day, I thank her for that. I'm glad she just was blunt and told me straight up, Rashida, you're musty. And then not only did she tell me I was musty, but she actually showed me how to wash and then put on deodorant so that I could smell good. And to this, that stuck with me because to this day, hygiene is very important to me, to the point that it's almost crazy. I don't even like using public bathrooms. That's how bad sometimes. I walk around with cans of antibacterial spray in my car and all over my house because that left an indelible impression on me. So I had to deal with the reality of it. I couldn't tell her, oh, well, I smell good. I was lying. I was stink. And she was trying to help me. I was. It was the truth. I was a 14, 15-year-old girl still learning about hygiene and that kind of thing. And she was blunt and told me straight up, this is what it is. So I think that sometimes if it's true, some of the stuff is not true. Some of the stuff is not said in love, mean-spirited. I understand that. I get it. Believe me, I'm one of the people that actually get it. But here's the thing. You got to ignore that and become the best version of yourself that you can. And reach out to those people, to the sisters out there that you're talking about, that is willing to help you. I'm actually one of those people. I'm non-judgmental. I will help my sisters. I will help anybody because I want to see people win and be the best version of themselves. So, you know, what we have to do is just be honest. If you overweight, if you walk around here not wearing your natural hair, you know, those things can lead to self-esteem issues. So what can you do to solve that? There's tons of beautiful sisters on YouTube that make free videos, wonderful videos telling you how you can grow your hair. Understand? There's a solution to every problem. There's tons of videos on YouTube that explain to you how you can go about losing weight. It's basically caloric restriction, or maybe changing your diet, drinking more water, eliminating certain things. So the thing is, we got to accept the truth and then be willing to put in the work that solutions require.
Okay.
Take it up and talk about it. You got to actually do. It's very important.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick before we get into your and shout out to Mr. Old School Writer for the $1 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Rashida, you are reaching out to Black women, been doing so for almost 20 years. And I feel, I'm not saying that you're saying this, but I feel that what you feel is that the support that you get could be much stronger from the Black male community with uplifting the dark-skinned women's image to more so elevate the beauty standard of dark-skinned women. Now let's have a serious conversation. I know you only have about 40 minutes left, but do you think that Black men are too much white women worshipers or mulatto worshipers, where they do not exalt maybe a certain type of Black woman, like a dark-skinned Black woman as a beauty standard? They're also maybe whitewashed. They are also maybe racist towards black women, towards a certain tone of dark-skinned black women. Do you think that black men are like this?
Absolutely, I do. Not all black men are like this at all, but it's enough of them that are like this for it to be an issue. So yes, and I've always believed and I've always said that the solution to darkism for dark-skinned women is with black men. That is why I continue to speak to black men about this, because I think that black men are the real solution. But at the same time, it's a balance there. The women have to be willing to listen and take criticism and deal with it in a manner that's constructive. So yes, so what black men have got to do, black men have got to open up their eyes and realize that there must be balance in regards to their dating and marriage choices in terms of dark-skinned women versus non-dark-skinned black women. And I think that's the problem. There's not balance in terms of who black men see as beautiful or the most beautiful. We still have a situation right now where black men are still not recognizing the beauty of dark-skinned black women to the extent that they should or could. And I would like to see that change. I mean, it is getting better. I can say that, you know, we're getting better, because I feel like the many conversations that you and I have had and the many conversations that I've had with other black men, I feel that that's progress. So what I want to do is see that to continue to go on, and then to have that trickle down to the young black men that's coming up, you know, because these young black men are watching people like you. They're influenced by people like you. So they're going to be impacted by what you say about dark-skinned black women and that kind of thing. I've seen this with men. You know, there's been many situations when, you know, a black man they wouldn't admit that they were dating me or dealing with me. They would not want to admit it because they wanted the approval of their friends. So it was like an issue if you dating a woman that's, you know, dark skinned, and she could even be cute. Because I mean, when I look back at myself, I used to think that sometimes I was ugly when I was 15, 16. But I look back and I'll be like, dang, I was just so cute. Just the cutest little thing ever. Like, how could these men be ashamed of me? Like, it was nothing wrong with me. But because some of these men are so filled with self-hate as a result of living in a country that devalues dark skin, and that, you know, going back to the beauty hierarchy where you see non-dark skinned women at the top, it's like almost an automatic to downgrade or look down on dark skin. I've even seen this with other dark skins. Just like I said, what I went through, where guys would like me, but they would be afraid to admit to their friends that they like me. I've seen this happen with dark-skinned young ladies. And I'd be like, wait a minute, they be beautiful. I mean, stunning, nothing wrong with them. Nice and slim, good skin, no shade to thicker sisters. I mean, people hear me talk about slim and they think that I'm shading people that are not slim. I'm not. It's just that I'm a slender person. My ideal of beauty is, as the dark skin woman, is for me to be nice and slim. But anyway, these young ladies were beautiful, and I'm like, are these guys insane? They messing up these girls' head just like they messed up my head, making me think. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So that's why I said that men have a lot of control over darkism when it comes to dealing with dark-skinned women. They have a lot of control over it. I mean, so that's what I would like to see. I would like to see more black men sincerely, if you don't be fake about it. Like, I ain't gonna say no names here. We're gonna leave that there. But don't be fake. Don't be using us just to, you know, as a marketing ploy, like some black men will do, just because, you know, it's trending on social media. You think it's popular. Do it from your heart. Do it because you actually love black people. You understand? So yes, black men have a lot, a huge role to play. And also, I respect the black man's opinion. And I think that we could do a lot to repair the relationship between Black men and Black women by Black men stepping up and showing their love for dark-skinned women, because we actually respect y'all. Black men need to understand this. Black women are crying out for y'all attention because we respect, we love y'all. So that's why it's very important. Even though some of us may not say it, they might be vocal like how I am, but it's really about getting approval, especially when you're young and impressionable. It's about getting approval. So if we could start at a young age and take care of this, I mean, I think that we would go so far in building up our communities. Just the simple act of finding a woman that looks like you beautiful, I mean, could lead to so many positive things in our community.
I think, Rashida, you're an anomaly.
Oh my God, I hope not. I don't want to be.
I'm echoing a little bit, but I think when you speak to even myself and other Black men who are in the chat, for some of them, this is the first time that they are hearing this. And what I think is you look at the black male and female relationship dynamic in a very pragmatic way, which is very unorthodox for women. And I think that's why you have did so many shows together, because of the way you see things. You see things from a very kind of logical point of view. But I really feel like the majority of Black women, although I've not met them, but from what I have come across, I don't really think that most of them really. I think that most of them really care less about most Black men's opinions. And I think that the issue is that with a lot of Black men is, while I think that there are some Black men who would prefer a light-skinned woman, I think that this comes from a different theory, because when we look, and I live in Poland, as you know, when we look at a white woman or a mixed woman, the first thing we think is more docile. We think of, okay, she's going to be more with the program. Most women who are raised by like a white mother and Black father, for most Black men, that could be an ideal situation, because a lot of Black women are don't have a relationship with their dad. Our mom makes a bad decision with the father, and there is a lot of dark-skinned women tend to be a little bit more aggressive, more masculine acting, and I feel this is such a trait that a lot of dark-skinned women possess. And while a lot of Black men do like natural hair and do probably appreciate dark-skinned women, I know I do. That's my preference. It makes it very difficult to want to. It's hard to even get close to woman and even want to elevate her when it's so much animosity. A lot of Black women have a lot of animosity towards Black men. They may love. I may agree to that to a certain extent, but a lot of dark-skinned Black women, they can be rude. They can be very mean. Now I know that they could have heard things and they come up. I'm sure dark-skinned young men hear the same thing too. But I think that one of the reasons that a lot of Black men do like non-Black women or half-breed Black women, we look at them as they're going to be more easy to get along with. They're more feminine. Dark-skinned Black women have kind of really lost their femininity. Even in African countries, you don't see the femininity unless, seriously, I saw it in Uganda, places like that. But a lot of dark-skinned Black women, they are aggressive, and I think with some Black men, it makes it kind of hard to really want to appreciate women who has you're probably on your third or fourth generation of feminist ideas. And by the way, somebody didn't want to actually question Rashida before we kind of get more further. Truth from Troy asks, how do you feel about the current state of feminism?
That's a good question. And I just want to say, how can I say this? I want to make sure people clearly understand. I don't focus on feminism at all. To me, it never even arises in my head. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just honestly not my thing. I have to be very honest and transparent with people. A lot of people have came to me with this whole concept of feminism. It's simply just not on my radar in that respect, because my primary focus and concern is the state of dark-skinned people in the world, making sure I do my part to ensure equality, and then making sure that the Black man comes back to the dark-skinned Black woman in balanced numbers. That is what I'm laser sharp focused on. So all these other paradigms, I create my own paradigm, and feminism is, with all due respect, that's not on my radar. I hope I answered your question.
No, great question. Let me do this real quick and good answer. Let's spend some time talking about some of the projects that you have been working on. I'll get to the other question a little bit later, but let's talk a little bit more about what you are working on now and the success that you've had with your campaigns across this country.
Oh, absolutely. I'm on the Dark Skin Activist Tour, and it's crazy because it ain't crazy, but it's crazy because a lot of people told me in '98 when I started how stupid and dumb speaking about only dark skin was, and I shouldn't do that, and I should focus on all. But I mean, a lot of people try to knock me off of what it is that I do. I ignore and keep going, and I've been doing it, and I've seen the growth of dark skin activism from '98 all the way up into the present. And so I'm on a constant or ongoing tour. I'm a self-producing independent artist. By that, I mean, I produce my own shows as a part of Dark Skin Activism, which is A Dark Skin Woman's Revenge. That's the name of the book that I wrote, A Dark Skin Woman's Revenge, and also the play. So what I do on the Dark Skin Activist Tour is I do the live play, A Dark Skin Woman's Revenge. And it's just, man, it's just grown exponentially. This year alone, I've done 4 shows, which that's a lot of growth for me. I did Tucson, Arizona in March, and then the DC Black Theater Festival in July. And then about 2 weeks ago, I was in Harlem and also Brooklyn. And then I just want to say shout out to people in Brooklyn and Harlem because they loved it. I was like, wow, like it was amazing. I always like to give little small cards and have people anonymously write their feedback so I can get the truth, and the reviews were just stellar. They had to literally kick us out of the venue in Harlem because I always do an audience talk back after I perform, and they didn't want to leave. It was phenomenal. I had people that have been following me on social media for years. Shout out to Carla and Ija. They came out, and man, I had never met them, and it was amazing. So the growth is just tremendous. Like, so, you know, it's just growing. I'm on tour still. I will be in St. Petersburg, which is where I actually live. I was invited to the only Black bookstore in St. Petersburg. They're having a 20th year anniversary celebration. I'm going to be there on Saturday with Darkism, my other book. You know, so, you know, I write books only on dark skin. I focus only on dark skin. The first artist, author, activist person in the world to do that. And, you know, like I said, looking back to where I started from and the people that so many people said this was crazy. And I just look at them like, whoa, I'm up here touring, you know, all over the United States and have been asked to come to the UK, still working on that. It's just absolutely, sometimes I'm amazed by it, even like, wow, I can't believe, but it just goes to show that when, you know, when you're supposed to do something, you ignore what people are telling you, because if they telling you something about don't do that, you should go the opposite direction. Don't listen to them, because it's just amazing. It's just amazing, and I'm just like really excited. I got a lot of things coming up in 2018, a lot of projects on the table, working on a tour. In fact, earlier tonight, I just came from a meeting with a partner that I'm working with to book a tour, another tour in New York, because people have asked me to come back. So, you know, it's it's crazy. I got Phoenix on the table tentatively in 2018. I just got like so much on the table. I'm currently in the process of writing my 6th dark skin book. It's almost done. I don't want to say the name, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Y'all gonna love it. Like, it's just, everything is about dark skin. Like I said, the thing that people said was crazy and insane and not to do is just picking up so much steam all around the world. And it is absolutely amazing. And I'm just really excited and happy to be doing it because I love it. What can I say?
Let me read first. I'm gonna just mute you. All right, so let me read this. Maddie goes, why is it that so many dudes still get mad at black women? That's the nature of the beast. I've learned to move on. Eventually you'll find more than a handful. Then you will never get enough no matter what shade you are. Shout out to Maddie Ghost, Mr. Bitcoin himself. And I believe someone asked, are you seeing anybody? So Rashida, if you can unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Okay. They want to know if you're single.
I'm dating.
I know he like, damn, I want my $2 back.
I'm dating. But I will say, I'm actually going through a divorce right now. But I've been separated for like 2 years. It's done and over. We just waiting for the courts to do what they do. But what I like being in a relationship. I love it. Like, it's the best thing in the world to me. I just love being in a relationship. So, but at the moment, dating.
But let me kind of talk about more of this. So we know that you have the book coming out, and as you know, when you come out with it, I'll definitely buy it. I guess what I want to know is this: with so many black people, the marriage is declining, right? You see a lot of black men are marrying. Well, black men are, number one, not marrying as much as they used to, and number two, while most of them are still marrying black women, you have a good 15% of black men marrying interracially.
Mm-hmm.
But also, there is a surge of a newer black man that is okay. Here's the thing. I have a website called thenegromanosphere.com.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that my website and even this channel and some of the other channels prove that a lot of these black men are professional. A lot of them are gainfully employed. This is all across the world. Black men have really good jobs. We are a high earning income group of men in the United States. If we were to take black men in the United States as its own country, we would be like maybe the 20th richest country in the world, just between black men. However, here's the issue. Mm-hmm. These group of black men who could be excellent candidates for husbands for these dark-skinned black women. And we all know that black women are, women are the gatekeepers to sex in relationships and marriage. Why are these dark-skinned black women not looking for these brothers? Because when I'm hearing black men that come on the show or talk, they say, hey man, we were checking for these dark-skinned black women. We were looking for these black women and they didn't want anything to do with us. So that's why I ended up with an Asian girl. I ended up with a white girl. I've never really, for the most part, heard a black dude say I've never had an attraction for black women or dark-skinned black women. What I hear is those brothers who are marrying out, are dating other race women. They're saying, hey, I tried dating black women, but they wanted a light-skinned black man. Okay, because it works both ways. What do you have to say for those dark-skinned black women who they really love light-skinned dudes? You're not hard enough. You're not thug enough for me. Why is it that these black women cannot find value in a group of hardworking black men that other races of women are finding value in?
I think that again, going back to the raw honesty, and trust me, I have defended, a lot of people know this already, black women in general and dark-skinned black women in particular to the end. But I think, to address your question and look at the other side of the coin, I think we have to look at ourselves and be honest. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. And what we also have to do, and I learned this from a sister, she confirmed this in Harlem. We kind of almost got it. Because when I do my talkbacks, I get quiet and let the audience talk. So there was a black man that was getting ready to speak his piece, and one of the women cut him off. And one of the other women said, "Hey, see, this is what y'all do. Y'all never listen to what the black man has to say." This was in Harlem. I hope I got that on the footage of that. And I think that speaks to the point that what we got to do is listen to our men. We have to listen. We got to shut up, be quiet, don't say nothing, and just hear them all the way out, no matter what they say. And believe me, I'm talking to myself because I'm a talker and I can overtalk people. And I had to check myself to say, Rashida, shut up and listen. So when you're really tuned in and listening to someone and listening to their gripes and their complaints, and sisters, I'm not saying that I'm personally excusing what these black men are doing, because I would still prefer to have them at home. That's how I want it. I think it should be that way. But we need to listen to why these men are doing what they're doing, and then address it from an honest place, because I think that is what is missing. And I want to say real quickly, I know this book was written like I was like a kid, so I want to give honor, I hope I say her name right, to Sister Shazarad Ali. I hope that I'm saying her name correctly, because she's a predecessor. This woman, she wrote the book, I believe it's called How to Understand a Black Man. Forgive me if I am misquoting the book. I don't mean to do that.
I think she wrote also how to love a black woman. She wrote both books. Yeah,
I got so much respect for her. Like, she literally is giving us black women, my sisters, the blueprint. This lady is the truth.
Yeah, she's good.
She the truth. Like, she's giving us the blueprint. Also, sisters like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, they telling you this is what it is. We need to look at both sides of the coin. So if the sisters would just be quiet, like the sister said at my Harlem show, let this black man talk, hear what you have to say, even if you don't agree, just listen and understand. I think that is the first step, because like what we're doing right now, we're having a dialogue. You're talking, I listen. I talk, you listen. And if we're listening and understanding and paying attention, then we can analyze, okay, the problem, cause, and solution. This is the problem. This is the causes. Okay, so what are we going to do about it? That's the only way that we are going to be able to solve our black problem, our black female male relationship problem, is if we stop and listen to each other all the way, understand without judgment, put all the cards on the table, and work it out. I think that's what we need to do. That's how I think. Even with I don't mean to digress, but even with my own, I said I'm going through a divorce. Yes, I initiated the divorce, but believe me, before I initiated that divorce, I did everything humanly possible to problem, cause, solution. Now, if you can't get at a solution, or if you implement the solution and it doesn't work, I don't think the answer is to say, oh, let me go and get me a non-black one. That's not the answer. Going back to the men. Because guess what? There's literally millions of black women all over the planet Earth. So what you do is you go, so let me use myself as an example again. I mean, I'm divorcing. I'm dating. I'm only dating Black men. Have I been hit on by non-Black men? Absolutely, plenty of times. No shade, no disrespect, but one Black man is not going to, or they're not going to just cause me to say I'm going to walk away. That's not going to happen, because as you said earlier, there are so many good Black men out here till it's not even funny. Like, they're there. So I'm just going to move on and get me another Black man and eventually get married and keep it moving. So the solution is not to say, oh, I tried to get with these dark skinned Black women. I'm getting on the men right now. And they didn't want to have nothing to do with me. Well, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10. I don't know. Dark skinned women or Black women. There's millions. So that is not an excuse as far as I'm concerned. We are supposed to stay together and work it on out. That's my goal. And I'm going to keep pushing for that for as long as I got breath in my body. And dealing with I got a chance to speak to some young brothers when I was in Brooklyn, to talk to them, and put my influence on them in terms of the Black woman. And it's just like, this is what I do. We need each other. We cannot afford to be walking away. We need each other to build and strengthen our community.
I agree to a certain extent. That's what you're saying. You're saying some good things right now. I think that, being here in Poland and, with the Black men, I always try to tell them, get yourself together. Do what you need to do for self. And, the women who are going to wanting to be a part of your community and kind of, abide by the rules. I think we do have a problem with some Black men.
You broke up there. You're breaking up.
We do have a problem in our Black male dynamics, with a lot of Black men failing to work together or to fail to do business together and create networks. I think that also that's lacking on our part. I think if Black men could work together more, build better networks more, do fair and good business, patronizing each other, and that will definitely make women, the Black women, wanting to be, because a lot of times, in order for a woman to want to listen to you, we have to give women something to respect. And right. I think this is something that I'll be very transparent. A lot of us brothers are lacking. We have not, we have a $600 billion economy. We don't know how to use it. We have 20 million plus Black men that could go out and vote. We don't use it to our advantage. We have a lot of opportunities to our advantage that we don't use. And when you don't use things to your advantage, it's hard to ask people to respect you. And I think that's a problem that we do have, and we will be lying saying we don't have that problem. You brothers know that we have this problem. And it's something that, we've been trying to tell Black men to get out and vote, patronize your political agendas, and for those Black men that you can work with and network with, build your networks. They're not going to teach this in school. Black men, if they want hire attractive Black women, you have to do these things. You're going to have to, build your relationships with other brothers. You have to make money. You have to be able to do the things that white men and Asian men are known for doing. And I think that the equality of Black women will rise based off men. But I think as men, if we're sitting around thinking that Black women are just going to respect us because we have the dick and balls, that's not going to happen. And I think that's what we are. A lot of Black men are just looking for that. We're looking for Black women to respect us. And we have to. I know this is going to sound very sexist, but the Nation of Islam also has put out how to keep Black women in line. And if you look at the Nation of Islam, those Black women over there, you don't get Black women talking back to Black men. You don't. The reason why, they have infrastructure, they have schools, right. They have mosques, they have businesses. That's the thing that Elijah Muhammad believed in. That's the thing that Louis Farrakhan believes in, they control their economies. And those women that want to be a part of that, they have rules to follow. And I think this is what Black men are missing. And we want to come to the table, you know, and want to be respected, and we don't have that opportunity. So I think that in your respect, Black men have it. If you want dark-skinned Black women and you want them to have a better attitude, there's something that we can do also on our plate, and not just Black women have to do all on their plate. I agree to that.
Right. It has to be balanced. That's all I've been trying to say for like the longest. It has to be, and that's the thing. What you're saying now is music to my ears, because it's working together. It's looking at the problem amongst us and trying to solve it. Going outside is not going to solve our problem. I promise y'all it's going to get, because if you look at, we can even talk about the civil rights movement. If you look at, for example, the birth rates of Black children, there were more Black children that were born in wedlock prior to the civil rights movement. That's because we were together. I hate to say it, and I respect the civil rights leaders, but I do believe that civil rights actually contributed to the dismantling of the Black community in a lot of ways, and that is no disrespect.
100%.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to the people that fought. I would love them and I respect them, but I'm about honesty and facts. So the thing is, what happened was we started going outward, which is what we're talking about, instead of looking inward and trying to solve the problem. You don't just walk away without trying 100. I can't walk away from something without trying 100%. What can I do to make it better and solve it? And if I just absolutely can't, after I done given 1,000%, then I say, okay, this is not workable. Let me try another strategy. But I think what Black people, it's too easy post civil rights to just walk away, because I got this option and I can go here and I can do this and I can date this person. That's easy. That's the easy way out. Why would you want to do that? There's no real reward in that, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah.
Okay. No, I agree with that also. Let me also shout out to some people. Trapstar Bank support Black man, $2 super chat. Hey man, thank you brothers, man, for the love. I know we're almost about out of time, Rashida, but is there any place you would like people to follow you or anything of this nature? Or?
Oh yeah, sure. You can follow me on my Facebook. It's just Rashida Strober, or I'm also on Instagram, Rashida Marie Strober.
I'll put your link in the description.
Okay, and also I'm asking people to also support my books and things like that, because the books, I want people to understand I'm an independent self-producing artist, so it costs money to be able to do the things that I do. So when you purchase the books that I write on dark skin, it's a win-win situation, because there's a wealth of information in these books, and also the money goes directly towards supporting the tour. So I'm asking people to also support that. And all you got to do is go to my website, which is queenofdarkskin.com, aka RashidaStrober.com, and buy a book. Or I also have a PayPal email, icecreamladydream@yahoo.com, and the money goes towards again the tour. I am always fundraising for this tour. So yeah.
Okay, let me and I've myself, wow, you're getting a lot of donations over here. Okay, and I've also donated before over here. You're always supporting what you got going on. So brothers, if you feel inclined, this is a sister that is doesn't have a disparaging attitude towards Black men. There are people that are like that. And so whenever, she comes over here, we've given away some of her books before and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna go over here and I get my wallet now. I'm gonna donate to her, okay, because she's always trying to come over and drop some knowledge. So brothers, we want to, if you're a Black woman that is, at least she's always had this always trying to support Black men, and there's very few, Black women out here that do that. So,
Let me just say this. I want to make this clear as well. I want people to know this. This is very important. Before social media came along, I've been doing this work. What you see on social media with me is what you get, 100%. I've been working in my Black community for years. I worked as an activist in an organization called the Uhuru Movement, started by the chairman, Omali Ashatella. And as a part of that movement, I've done so much work in terms of protesting injustices, fighting injustices, getting lawyers pro bono to work on police brutality. Tyron Lewis, y'all could Google Tyron Lewis in the city of St. Petersburg when the police murdered him, because that's what they did. I was there in '96. We protested that. We fought. I got a lot of respect for Chairman Omali Ashatella because he's one of the people that taught me how to go out and fight in my community for justice in the Uhuru Movement. We just did so much work on a grassroots level. So when social media came along, I simply took that activism and also dark skin activism and brought that with me to the internet. So this is not for no show. This is the real deal. I mean, I've gone to court with brothers and sisters and just was there to help them. Like I said, got pro bono attorneys, started the Malcolm X free tutoring program. You name it, I've done it.
Okay. No, I know, and you've also taught too. I know you have a master's degree, and you taught in the public school system before. Is that right? She's still there? Oh, I think she froze. All right. Well, listen, guys. She's froze on the screen. Oh, you're breaking up. Can you guys hear me? Because can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. So, anyways, Rashida, let me know if we can, do another show. Thank you so much. I'll put your links into the description. You always give a hell of a show. The brothers really appreciate you coming over here and just dropping some knowledge with us. Typically, whenever we do shows, I watch the watch time minutes. It's always a lot. I think we've done some shows where they've got even 10,000 views on the interview. So again, thank you so much for spending your time and coming over here and sharing your experience with us. Typically, this is a man's channel. So, Billy Jackson, Elshay, ask her if she is a good kisser. Are you a good kisser?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't be the judge of that. I don't.
Okay, you gotta show up. You gotta try to show up to one of her plays, and hopefully you can get a kiss. And before the nigga she would kill your ass. Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea. Sorry.
All right. Well, listen, Billy Jackson. Well, at least you see what your shout out to you. Well, Rashida, every time you come over here, somebody gets the hots for you, stuff like that. So again, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody in the chat for supporting this stream. We got some more comedy coming, you guys. Remember I told you guys, Rashida, don't judge me, but I have this channel. I have a vlog called Black in Poland. Have you ever watched it before?
What is it called?
It's called Black in Poland.
No, I haven't. I need to watch that.
It's me walking around Europe talking a lot of shit, and it's like motherfuckers, they hate me. And like in Poland, it's like it's my second channel. So on Friday, I promise you guys, the simp booty reaction video will be out. Okay, it's hilarious. So you guys, so that's my next vlog out. Again, thank you guys for supporting this channel. Bronze Curls, Mr. Old School Rider, Billy Jackson, King Life, all the moderators. Shout out to you guys, man. And thank you again, Rashida.
Thank you.
Peace.
Good night.